it's me again. My name is Catt Small, and I'm a director of product design working at a cool venture studio called All Turtles. And I'm back. I'm going to answer another interesting question that I grabbed from the internet. I really appreciate the amazing reception to the first video, so thank you to everybody who watched and shared. And I'm going to jump in. This is another question that I've grabbed from Merit. So if you haven't seen Merit yet, please go to getmerit.com right there and check it out. It's a really great website for finding a mentor or getting to actually build your experience as a mentor. This is the second video in my very short series, my 2-video series about getting your first design job. So I'm going to answer another question that fits within this theme. I would summarize this question as, how do I stand out in interviews? And I have the actual details pulled up on Merit here. So this person asked, how do I stand out as a recent UX design bootcamp grad looking to land a product designer role? Hugely important question. Firstly, I'll dig into the specifics of an entry-level designer, but I also thought, considering the unfortunate landscape that we are in and all of the layoffs that we're seeing, that it might also be helpful to not just tackle the entry level, but also talk about other levels as well and what folks might expect when interviewing. Let's start with entry level. So I have been on a variety of hiring panels for different role levels, and one of the areas that I of course love to participate in is hiring for entry level positions. That can be a junior position or an internship position. And what I'm always looking for in these positions are potential, enthusiasm, and a willingness to learn. I'm going to talk through each of these, starting with potential. So potential to me is a spark of some kind of a kindling that shows me that you have a foundation, whether it's super obvious or needs some interpretation, some way to know that you are going to be able to apply your interests to this role and to be able to succeed. That might look like being a career transitioner, coming from a role as a teacher to becoming a user researcher, for example. There are lots of ways in which that might be applicable. There's also, for example, somebody who was an animator or an illustrator coming into web design or into product design. There are lots of different people in this world who are coming from different backgrounds, and what I'm looking for is to understand how the work that you've done is going to lead into that next chapter for you. Potential might be a little bit more hidden, and sometimes it's very obvious, but one thing that really matters to me is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm can come in a variety of different forms. One form is you are in love with your work, deeply passionate about your work, and that's really cool. Good for you. Another way that it shows up is that you like this job and you could do it for 8 hours a day and you really want to eat and pay rent. Both of those are great. I'm looking for either of those because I need to make sure that whoever I hire is going to be interested and engaged enough to do that work for the entirety of the time that we're working together. If you don't want to be there, I don't want you to be there either. Sorry. And finally, when I say willingness to learn, what I mean by that is that things go in one ear and live in your head. They do not come out of your head, and you enjoy that. You really want to learn, you want to grow, you want to be there. So building off of both the potential and the enthusiasm, ideally seeing that you are interested and very willing to learn new things. Ideally, you are also comfortable with not always being right and also asking questions. These are huge things that folks are looking for when they're interviewing, but it's okay if you, like me, are not always the greatest at being wrong or showing vulnerability. Those are things that you can also learn. So if you are open and flexible and willing to learn, it goes a long way. So that covers entry level. I would of course love to answer any more questions if folks have any. Thank you to the person who posted this on Merit again. I would also love to talk about hiring at other levels because I think that, again, this is really important right now. If I had to quickly summarize what I generally look for when I'm hiring somebody at the mid level, I would put this into two buckets. So I would firstly say that I'm looking for quality of work, because at this point, you should have beyond a foundation and you should actually have some semblance of work to show. It might be a very small chunk of work, but I'm looking for how you execute on whatever area of work you've been able to actually complete. And then, of course, I'm also looking to understand what the quality of your character is. Are you a good collaborator? Are you building on that willingness to learn and actually retaining and contributing anything back to the team? These are really important and valuable skills to have when you're a mid level designer. So I highly recommend that you think about how these two qualities can potentially show through in your next hiring round. Next is the senior level. So at the senior level, I'm usually looking for people who are self directed in some way and are able to actually handle a bit more ambiguity. I don't expect this person to be able to take on the entirety of a million user product design, of course, but I do expect this person to be able to own the entire vertical or area of a product and feel comfortable enough most of the time to do a great job here. I also believe that this person should have made a relatively strong internal and or external impact. So is this person participating in employee resource groups? Is this person contributing to the design community? Have the designs that they've actually created impacted the businesses that they've worked for? These are the kinds of things that I definitely want to see when I'm interviewing a senior designer. So make sure that you're showing your impact. And finally, the leadership level is definitely the one where I'm looking for the most complex series of topics and information to cover. So I'm looking to see if this person's got a vision. Do they have a strategy to actually execute on that vision? How do they coordinate across people who aren't just themselves? Because at the leadership level, you are generally not just responsible for yourself, you're usually responsible for the impact of a team. I'm also looking to see how they provide cultural value. Are they building coalitions and building support networks within the company to make everybody better, not just themselves? And finally, how are they actually impacting the company through results? Are they a driver of the design community in some way, internally or externally? I'm really looking to see a person who can scale themselves. And those are all my tips for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Next time, I'm going to jump into another topic, which is designing with constraints. I'll have a couple of videos that fit under that topic as well. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really appreciate, again, all the folks who have watched and provided their thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts if you have additional criteria or thoughts that you'd like to share. Again, if you would love to start a conversation of your own, jump into Merit and ask a question. It's super easy, it's free, it's very simple, and I am always on there. So I would love to start a conversation with you there. And if you are looking to mentor folks, Merit is a great way to do that. Finally, shout outs to which is the product that I used to actually make this video. It was created by All Turtles, air horn, and it's super simple and easy. All I had to do was hit a record button, and it made it really simple to actually record all of these slides. Everything I did was made in With that, see you next time. Bye.